So I'm at the RXR Plaza, which is the site of an event called Canstruction Long Island, which I was asked to help judge. What exactly is Canstruction Long Island and how is it helping those in need? Let's go find out. So I'm here with Tracy Lobdell, the Executive Director of Canstruction Long Island. First off, Tracy, thanks so much for having me help judge this competition.
Oh, Rob, thank you so much for your help. We really appreciate your participation this year, and it means a lot to all the teams that spend up to a year designing and building these structures for this competition.
So what exactly is Canstruction Long Island?
Well, Canstruction Long Island is one of 150, actually more than 150 events around the world, and it's a charity of the architectural, engineering, design, and construction industries that uses the talent in these firms to give back to the community by designing these incredible structures that you see here today and building them and then donating the cans of food to different food banks in the local area.
So the teams are building structures out of canned foods.
Out of cans of food, yes.
We have over 5,000 cans here to make up Mr. Wreck-It Ralph. The theme we came up with was Smash Hunger, and who would do it better than Wreck-It Ralph? He's the beloved character from Pixar, and all he does is wreck stuff. He smashes everything, walls, even his friends' toys.
And this is not an easy endeavor, is it?
It's a challenge. That's why there must be an architect or an engineer or a designer on each of the teams.
I believe it's, say, a solid month of work. You know, every day after work, during lunch, we'd have people model in SketchUp, AutoCAD.
Because we want to make sure that the structures are structurally sound.
3D model the cans to scale just to see if it fits.
We want to make sure that they maximize the potential of the labels to bring their design concept to life.
And once we came up with that idea, we had the color scheme. We looked up can colors, put it in the program, and see what it looked like before we even had a chance to build it.
And there are engineering aspects that are involved in some of these.
So take me through, these teams, they have a short window to actually build this.
That's true, yes. They have just 12 hours to build the structure.
The clock is on.
It is on, yes. They start at 4 o'clock. They started 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and they finished at, this year they finished at 1:15 this morning, so it wasn't too bad, but sometimes they do go until 4 in the morning.
And so how many cans are we talking about here that are used within all these structures?
Well, what you see this year in these structures is about 40,000 cans of food.
That's a lot of food.
Yes, it will provide thousands of meals for hungry Long Islanders.
And then where does that food go?
That food is actually going to 4 different food banks or hunger organizations. It's going to the Interfaith Nutritional Network. It's going to Long Island Cares, the Harry Chapin Food Bank, the Nest at Nassau Community College, which is a food bank at the college for faculty, staff, and students. It's going to Island Harvest Food Bank.
You know, imagine a can is a meal for somebody, and look at all of the meals that exist in front of you. So there are thousands and thousands of people that are going to benefit from this event. When people are food insecure, there's not one image or one type of person or one type of situation. And so we can't make any assumptions about where somebody's living, what kind of access they might have to cooking utensils or ovens or microwaves, whatever it may be. We can't make assumptions about how much they could save for later. If you're living in a shelter and your shelter happens to only have a microwave oven in your room and you have no other way to cook, and the only sink that you have is the sink in the bathroom, well, you can't buy food in bulk. And so these cans are wonderful because it's a meal. If you get a can of soup, that's a meal. You could put that into a bowl, put that in the microwave, and you can eat. And so we're providing meals, but we're in this incredible location where there are thousands of people coming through every single day.
And they're seeing it and they can donate as well, so that increases the total.
And they learn about the issue of hunger, and really for our purposes, that's another important thing. Because there are still people here on Long Island, Rob, that don't know that there are people who are struggling with food insecurity. And yet we're helping 300,000 people across Long Island. That's 1 in every 10 Long Islander. And so we need to get the message out as well.
You just won't ever look at a can of food the same way after participating in this event.
Well, I think that's what's really great about this event is that, look, there's so many causes that we all want to donate to, and we only have so much money. And hunger is one that affects so many people, but what you're doing is you're kind of cutting through the clutter. You're standing out. I mean, literally, like people see this, it draws awareness, it's creative, it's something that you really can't forget about.
It really is such a visual as far as fighting hunger. And you know, people don't necessarily think about how many people on Long Island go hungry each year, how many people are food insecure. Maybe this month everything's okay, but next month they might not know where the next meal is coming from. And this just brings it all to light in a very visual way and a very creative way too.
From my perspective, what it does is it sort of demystifies some of the issues of hunger, because if you talk about hunger, it's scary for some people. We talk about poverty, and then you think about all of the reasons why people are food insecure. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. They're afraid of the topic. It's a little too close for them, perhaps. But when we could do it in this kind of an environment, it sort of changes the dynamic a little bit. So we could stand there, we could look at things, we could try to figure out what some of the construction projects are. We could laugh about it and then get into the topic of hunger in a different way. It sort of diffuses it so that it makes the conversation easy.
And cuts through the clutter a little bit too.
Absolutely. You know? And you know, when a parent could stand here with their child and sort of play games with what they see, they could use it as a teaching opportunity to really talk to their child about food insecurity without having to scare them.
As for the competition, this was not easy to judge.
I see the key. Step back. Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, I do see the
On a lot of these flat ones,
You can't see it up close.
can't see it up close.
So from here, my eyes, I'm looking at that, it doesn't look like much down there, but then when you take a picture of it, you can see right here, like look at this, the British flag there. Isn't that amazing? There were 10 teams in all, 7 professional and 3 student, that I had to blind judge alongside a few professional engineers. So when you're looking at this professionally, like what do you see?
This one, it's interesting how they're able to do the back so perfectly.
Awards were given in 5 professional and 3 student categories. Now, can the same team win in multiple categories? Yes. Okay. Ranging from largest can count to most nutritious and complete assortment of foods used to build the structure to best design. And remember Charles and his team from GPI's Wreck-It Ralph sculpture? They won for best use of labels.
We all know engineers like a little competition.
Though that wasn't the most important thing to them.
Nobody wants to be hungry. So you see that it's going to the food banks that are shortage, especially around this time of year where you start thinking of family and everything. You want people to have food to eat.
And for more on Canstruction Long Island, visit them on the web at canstructionli.org.